Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host, Nathan P. Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases, which you can find now on Amazon. And this episode is the fifth and final episode, so far, to actually cover the parody Spaceballs. Now, you may recall that there are some specific rules for including a parody in the second edition of A Saga on Home Video when it comes out in 2020, and those are pretty simple. It has to be a parody that was given the nod or given the approval of Lucas or Lucasfilm either during or before production. That would include the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special, which is already in the book and has been covered on the show. That would include Fanboys, the Robot Chicken specials, and the Family Guy specials, all covered on the show so far. That'll be in the next edition of the book, and also coming in the next edition of the book and being covered on the show now is Spaceballs, the Mel Brooks parody of Star Wars, Star Trek, and just sort of classic sci-fi in general. This has taken us 5 episodes to get here, because there's a hell of a lot of releases. We've already seen 28 so far. Back in the first episode, we looked at Laserdisc and VHS. In the second episode, we started looking at the DVDs and took the DVDs up to about the year, 2008. And then we jumped in with Blu-ray, picking up in 2009, carried that forward, and took the DVDs in that episode at least up through 2012, along with at least a reissue Blu-ray into 2012. We then jumped into a fourth episode last time where we looked at some more of the DVDs, kind of rounding out the DVD coverage, and then looked at some more Blu-rays, all based on the 25th anniversary edition that premieres in 2012, and took that up into 2014. Now, we jump back in to look at what's left of the Blu-rays, all from 2015, and that should, unless they put out some more stuff, should end our coverage, at least for now, of Spaceballs. And yes, because there have been so many reissues and so many times of buying other movies just to get a copy of Spaceballs in these multi-packs, these budget packs, we are going to do some tallying at the end of just how many times someone who's got all these copies of Spaceballs, like now I do, has bought the same shit over and over again. But we'll deal with that at the end. Now, in our last episode, we only took Blu-ray into 2014. And we're going to circle back around to Blu-ray here in a moment. But remember, we did also look at DVD up until 2015. And the last DVD we saw, the last release so far of Spaceballs on DVD, was this one. We said this was released in 2015. It's that exact same disc we've seen reissued over and over again with the same label since 2006, or with one of 2 different labels since 2000. So a completely unforgivable mess of a DVD. Notice here, though, it's got the new cover art. It doesn't say anything about this being a Your Helmet is So Big edition, but that's the Blu-ray that corresponds with this same art. We saw the back of it. We saw the spine of it. Kind of cartoony and all, but this was where we stopped, essentially, when it came to new releases. I point that out because we are going to come back to it and see the Blu-ray equivalent that one is made to look like, very much like the 25th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray, versus a DVD that looked a lot like it in 2012. A similar process happened in 2015. But speaking of Blu-rays, we started out with the Blu-rays in 2009 with a Blu-ray DVD combo pack that wasn't labeled as such on the actual packaging itself. We then saw this issued a total of 4 times. Here in 2009 in this set, in 2009 in the limited edition Mel Brooks Collection Blu-ray set, in 2010 in a combo pack that was actually labeled as a combo pack, and then in 2012 in a reissue that was not a limited edition of the Mel Brooks collection. So this version, this is the version with all the character faces on it, saw issue 4 times. Then we had a 25th Anniversary Edition that premiered in 2012. That one had a regular version. Again, it's got that new Schwartz ring label on it. And then there were 2 other reissues of this 2 years later in 2014 around the 90th anniversary of MGM. There's a 90th anniversary of MGM version with the gold triangles on top and bottom to sort of make it different a little bit for that anniversary, but it turned out to just be a cardboard insert. And then there was the exclusive, which I believe was from Target, that had that purple artwork as a cardboard piece that slips in front of everything else, just like the other cardboard insert, also from 2014. So this 25th Anniversary Edition, so far, with the Schwartz ring label, has been issued 3 times. And now we come to the End of the Road. I feel like Boyz II Men should be playing in the background. We pick up in 2015 with the corresponding release that gave us that new cover to that old DVD, which is the Your Helmet is So Big edition off that line from the film, but without a V in front of it, which is weird for Spaceballs. That is this. Okay? This is Spaceballs, Your Helmet is So Big edition. It says Mel Brooks's, Spaceballs, etc., etc. It's got Your Helmet is So Big edition right around it there. Again, Mel Brooks, John Candy, Rick Moranis getting the main billing. We have our similar imagery there of the characters with the Eagle 5 down here. Something different about it this time up here in sort of yellow.
Blu-ray Digital HD.
Yes, this is the first time that Spaceballs is being offered on home video with a corresponding free digital copy with the package that you're buying. Pretty cool. Took them until 2015, but still, pretty cool. There you got a spine that's very much like the DVD was. MGM logo, Yogurt, Spaceballs, Barf, Blu-ray logo as opposed to DVD. The back, similar, except we've got basically the box for the special features stretched out because it actually has quite a few special features. And then, of course, we have our information there about the digital HD copy that goes along with it. Otherwise, pretty much the same design as a DVD we saw last episode near the end. Now you open it up, and the disc is the exact same one again. So while it is the Your Helmet is So Big edition, that only really applies to the packaging. The disc is the exact same one that we saw already back for the 25th anniversary in 2012, and then reissued in 2014. So now we've seen 4 of this one. What's interesting, though, that comes with it, aside from a little digital copy code that isn't in this copy, it's in another one I can show you here, I already used that one, is some inserts. We've got I Love Barf and May the Schwartz Be With You. It's kind of like bumper sticker type things here. And then you can fold that out. We've got some more. We've got a We Break for Nobody, Mel Brooks' Spaceballs. I Love Uranus. Ha ha! Evil will always triumph because good is dumb. Of course, that quote from Dark Helmet. And then Spaceballs, the bumper sticker. So we got that. And then we got these little postcards, basically, postcard art cards. And that's it. So the downside is that, yeah, it's the same disc again. But you got a digital copy this time. You got the bumper stickers, you got the little postcard things, and it's different artwork on the packaging. So it kind of makes sense to call it a new edition, but not for the actual contents of the disc. Now for 2015, this was thought of as kind of the regular version that was released. If you went to Best Buy, you could also get a metal pack. That's metal P-A-K version. You may say, what's a metal pack? Basically a knockoff of a steelbook that's not actually a steelbook because steelbook is a specific brand name, more or less. So a metal case for the film. Now if you've seen it in the stores in shrink wrap, you still have the cardboard on it. This is Spaceballs, the metal pack release, exclusive to Best Buy in 2015. This is actually provided to me by Brian Snook, who's donated other stuff to the show before, so thank you very much, Brian. It says Blu-ray Digital HD on the cardboard here. We'll look at the cardboard stuff first, I guess, just to get it out of the way. Top is just yellow. The Eagle 5. May the Schwartz be with you. Information about it, special features, digital HD, information, vital stats, cast crew. Just laid out differently this time. And then you have the actual case, where you've got this metal shiny case here, very much like a steelbook. Mel Brooks, John Candy, and Rick Moranis. Mel Brooks' Spaceballs. You got the characters all on there. Pretty cool artwork. The back, you've got the characters flying off in the Eagle 5, the Winnebago. And then for your spine, MGM, Spaceballs, and then the Blu-ray symbol there. Inside, it's kind of weird because there's your disc. This disc looks like the regular one. The disc in the regular one doesn't look like this. It looks like the previous one. I'm assuming that's probably a matter of maybe some old stock or something being repackaged. That probably there are ones out there of the package that looks like this, the Your Helmet is So Big edition, that actually has that label on it. I just find that really kind of weird the way that there's sort of a mismatch going on there. I could be wrong, though. It could be that all of them have the ring image on the one with the packaging that looks like this, and it's the ones where the packaging doesn't look like this that actually has that image on it. I have not actually seen a matched copy of the Your Helmet Is So Big edition yet. But we've got this. New label, exact same Blu-ray all over again. It does include the little, whatchamacallit, the little postcards and bumper stickers, which is cool. And then, like a steelbook, there is art on the inside that you can see there. Also from Best Buy, though, in 2015, you could get a sort of pop art variant, which was this. All right, so we have Dark Helmet there. We have Barf, Lone Star, and Vespa, Yogurt, and Dot Matrix, none of whom really kind of look like themselves, except for Dark Helmet, kind of. The Eagle 5 there, the swoosh in the background. Spaceballs! But you look at the spine, you look at the back, they look exactly the same. So you're thinking, oh, wait, and you notice it's kind of weird because it goes up beyond the plastic. That's right. All it is another freaking insert. Although in this case, very slightly embossed. Underneath, it's just the Your Helmet Is So Big edition. Inside, it's just that same Blu-ray again. But this one I can show you the actual ultraviolet code sheet that's included with the ones that have digital copies. So that's 3 versions, all of essentially the same thing. That's really just a reissue of a previous version, some of which have new labels, but all of which have a digital copy with them. Then we get into the ones in 2015 that were also the same Blu-ray content again, with different labels in a couple of cases that didn't come with digital copies. If you had gone to San Diego Comic-Con in 2015, there was a product line that was putting out basically just these different variants of Blu-ray copies of certain movies. And among them was Spaceballs. And Spaceballs actually got 2 variant covers, or variant packages, in that product line. The first one is Barf, right? John Candy's character. Up here it says Comic-Con 2015 Spaceballs. Otherwise, no words there on the cover. It's kind of this weird sort of stippled-looking artwork there. The spine, CC 2015 Spaceballs MGM Blu-ray logo, and then more of that art. The other side, same thing. Okay. The back, may the Schwartz be with you. Information about it, special feature listing, a Dark Helmet and Scroob, specifications about the disc, legalese and such at the bottom. This is a cardboard slipcover. Peel off the slipcover. Underneath we have a black Blu-ray case that, of course, has our same back, same front, essentially same spine. And then inside it, no bumper stickers, no postcards, no digital copy code, just the Blu-ray. But the Blu-ray has a different label on it, even though it's the same one as authored back in 2012. Comic-Con 2015, Spaceballs, Blu-ray symbol, and then all your different company information and whatnot down at the bottom. You might note here that is a black Blu-ray case, just like the one with that pop art cover, whereas the regular Your Helmet Is So Big edition tends to come in a blue Blu-ray case. So there is a variation in the case color. The other San Diego Comic-Con 2015 variant was this one, with Yogurt, right? And again, pretty much the same thing, only in this case it's green instead of purple. Comic-Con 2015, Spaceballs, CC 2015, Spaceballs, company logo, Blu-ray logo. Essentially the same back again, green instead of purple. Other side, same thing. Underneath, essentially the same as the outer slipcover. Open it up, disc inside. And essentially the same, except green instead of purple, so they are variant labels here. Comic-Con 2015, Spaceballs, Blu-ray symbol, stuff down at the bottom. But once again, I should note, black Blu-ray case, not a blue one. Meanwhile, you may recall that we saw in our last episode that in 2015, there was a 3-film pack, the 3 Mel Brooks Favorites pack, that included Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein, which it had been packaged with before, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, which it had been packaged with before, on DVD. That was this, again, which we looked at last time, that had an updated Young Frankenstein disc, same old Men in Tights disc, and that same Spaceballs disc we had seen over and over again on DVD. What's interesting is that whereas this was released in 2015, There was also, for the first time for Spaceballs, a Blu-ray equivalent of a multi-pack, which was this, also in 2015. 3 Mel Brooks favorites. Notice it's Blu-ray this time. Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein, Robin Hood Men in Tights. The side there, similar to what we saw with the other multi-packs, with 20th Century Fox logo, Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein, Robin Hood Men in Tights, MGM logo, Blu-ray logo, the back, 3 Mel Brooks favorites, and then just horizontal information about each film. Inside, Spaceballs with the Your Helmet is So Big type of label. Then Young Frankenstein and Robin Hood Men in Tights, which we've seen it packaged with in Blu-ray form before as well. So this essentially wraps up the Blu-rays for us. That is 6 new products added in this episode. So we went from 28 to now there have been 34 separate ways to pick up Spaceballs on home video, whether it's Laserdisc, or DVD, or VHS, or Blu-ray, or even digital included copies, if we're talking about physical purchases on home video. And it spans almost 30 years, too, right? Because we were talking about 1988 Laserdiscs and VHS copies, and now we're talking 2015 with Blu-ray copies, and digital copies included in some cases. So what are our final tallies? Well, the good news is that for Laserdisc, both versions, because there were only 2, were different. So we did see 2 different Laserdisc versions. When it comes to the versions on VHS, each one was different, and there were 4 of them, so that's 4 unique VHS versions, or 6 so far unique versions of Spaceballs. Then for the DVDs, we have what you might call version 1, which is the one that has a label on both sides, one side full screen, one side widescreen, white text, except for widescreen or full screen, which is labeled in red from 2000. We then have the 2005 Collector's Edition. This is disc 1 of 2 from that. We might call this DVD 2. Then we have the DVD that showed up every single other time, which is the exact same disc content and double-sided style as the first version of Spaceballs on DVD, but which has no label on one side, and the other side has an all-white text label that labels side A as widescreen, side B as full screen. We could call this DVD version 3. So that's 3 different unique, if you want to refer to labels as being unique, we will in this case, 3 different unique versions that you could get on DVD, bringing our unique total up to 9. But we had 15 that are all that third version. And then you could add another one and make it 16 if you want to consider that very first one to be the same thing, just with a different ring label on 2 sides instead of 1. So if we do treat those as version 1 and version 3, and we basically need 1 of version 3 to count as the first time we see it, and then we can count all the rest as just duplicates, then we've got 9 unique versions so far, plus 14 duplicates. Then on Blu-ray, we start with the one with all the faces that began in 2009. We've got an initial release of this, and then it's re-released or reissued 3 times after that. Then we have what you might call version B of the Blu-ray, which is the one with the ring on it, which we see first as a 25th anniversary edition in 2012. That is then reissued after that, going all the way up to 2015. So you have 1 initial release of this one, and again, 3 duplicates. Then we get the one that actually looks like the cover of the Your Helmet is So Big edition. We could call this maybe version C. And this one is released in 2015, but there are also 2 others of this released in 2015. So 1 initial, 2 duplicate. Then in 2015, we also have what you might call versions D and E, which again, same content again, but the purple and green versions of the Comic-Con exclusive, depending on whether it is the yogurt or the barf packaging. So, just in terms of the Spaceballs DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS tapes, and Laserdiscs themselves, completely leaving out anything we bought with them, that means that because we have a couple of DVD Blu-ray combo packs, which means our number goes from 34 to 36 different copies, we've got 14 unique copies. By unique, that means either it's unique content on the disc, or it may be the same content on the disc, but it's a unique label, and then 22 that are effectively just duplicates that were apparently sold in different packaging. I am, though, going to be doing some looking around to see if I can find that Your Helmet is So Big edition, with a disc inside that actually matches the cover. I think it was a repackaged thing that happened here that would have given it the 25th anniversary edition disc inside it, but this wasn't its original shrink wrap, so I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I'll keep researching. If I do find that I find one with a matching inside and outside, a disc and cover, I'll add a quick little supplemental episode to mention that after this one in the playlist. Now, because we have two different versions of the Mel Brooks collection, the 2009 limited edition and the 2012 regular edition, we also have two Blu-ray copies of the 12 chairs, so we'll count one as original and one as duplicate. The same is the case for Blazing Saddles on Blu-ray, and for Silent Movie on Blu-ray, and for High Anxiety on Blu-ray, and To Be or Not to Be on Blu-ray, and History of the World Part 1 on Blu-ray, though we'll see some DVDs of it also. And then because of those, and because of the 3 Mel Brooks Favorites Blu-ray from 2015, we now have 3 copies of Robin Hood Men in Tights on Blu-ray. And for Young Frankenstein, it's kind of interesting, because from those Mel Brooks collections, we have 2 of this version of Young Frankenstein on Blu-ray, with the Frankenstein head showing as the main image. But then we also have an updated Blu-ray, at least an updated Blu-ray label, for Young Frankenstein, found in 2015's 3 Mel Brooks Favorites set. That gives us a subtotal of unique items of 23 and of duplicates of 31. And now we gotta dive into all those other frickin' DVDs. Thanks to the John Candy collection, we now have another unique item with Canadian Bacon on one side and Delirious on the other. I'll count this as 1. Then thanks to the 4-pack being both Own the Moments released and 4 Comedy Film Favorites released, that means we have 2 copies of Super Troopers, plus 2 copies of Grandma's Boy Unrated. We'll come back to Robin Hood Men in Tights momentarily. Thanks to one of the earliest double features that we looked at, plus a triple feature with History of the World, we also have some more copies of Young Frankenstein, this time on DVD. We have 3 with this label, and 1 updated one with this label. We then have 1 DVD copy of History of the World from that 3-pack that also included Young Frankenstein. We have 1 copy of The Princess Bride from that 90th anniversary of MGM 3-pack from 2013. Thanks to that same 3-pack and a 3-pack from 2008 that actually used regular DVD cases, we now have 2 copies of the same version of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on DVD. That same 2008 3-pack also gave us 1 copy of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Then for Robin Hood Men in Tights, the Own the Moments 4-pack gives us this version of Robin Hood, and the original Spaceballs 2-pack with Robin Hood, the other quadruple pack, and the 3-pack that also included Young Frankenstein gives us 3 of this version of Robin Hood Men in Tights. That brings us a grand total over these 34 retail purchases of 34 unique items. Again, unique items defined as either unique content or a unique label. And then a grand total of 38 duplicates. More than half. Though honestly, really with 34 versus 38, I expected the numbers of duplicates to just blow everything else out of the water, but the numbers are helped by some of these movies that only show up once within the multi-packs. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down the rabbit hole that is Spaceballs on home video for this episode and the 4 preceding it. Now we're finally free to move on to something else. Whew. With that, we'll wrap up this episode and this mini-series within the bigger series. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force and the Schwartz be with the home video viewers.